Good afternoon, all. Able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Yes.
We'll wait for another 2 minutes.
Okay.
Just 2 minutes. That's it. Okay. Once again, good afternoon. So last session we have discussed, we have designed the organization structure of any company or any organization enterprise structure, right? So we discussed what do you mean by client operating concern, controlling area, right? What is company code, credit control area, FM area, okay, profit center standard hierarchy, business area, functional area, and consolidation business area. And we took one client as, sorry, our client is now Lahari group of companies. We are going to work the complete end-to-end project on Lahari group. So Lahari group we have designed. There are three different company codes of Lahari. One is LI01, LI02, which are both are LI01 company code in India, and LI02 company code is in India only. So LI01, our corporate office, this is nothing but your corporate office, which is base of India. And we have LI01 one company code, LI02 one company code, and LU01 another company code, which is what we call US based company code. Two are Indian company codes and one is US based company code. And
Hi Naveen, sorry to interrupt.
Please.
Can you go back to the page one, please? I think I missed it.
Please.
You said 2 minutes, so I was just out.
Okay. I think we have discussed last session, right?
Yeah. So just wanted to have a recap in my mind.
No
Okay,
problem.
please go ahead.
Yeah. Can I?
Yeah, please.
So here, so we have created Lahari company codes, as I mentioned, two company codes, and LU01 is another company code which is in US. And we have what we call LIC1, LIFA. These are nothing but your plants. LIC1 is nothing but your cement plant, and LIC2 is another cement plant, which is in this one. LI01 is in Mumbai, and LI02 is in LI01 is in Hyderabad company code, and LI02 is nothing but your Mumbai company code. And we have LIC1. One is cement plant. Okay, and LIC2 is one more plant which is based off Mumbai. And we have one financial area, financial management area, that is LIFA. So we will design complete structure now. So, and again, we have business areas. So we have a business area that is nothing but we have divided business areas into two different ones. One is domestic business area and foreign business area. So in domestic, in India, we have one is in Guntur business area branch, one is in Hyderabad branch, one is in Mumbai branch. When it comes to foreign, we have two different branches. One is in Singapore and one is in San Francisco. Clear? So same thing we have, and we have one more functional area. Functional area is nothing but your departments, organization departments. So I have taken few organizations which are there from small to a big organizations. That is, I have taken it as a Lahari admin department, Lahari human capital department, finance department, purchase department, quality department, and stores department, production department, utilities, and sales department. Clear? So these are the different departments where we will find small to big organizations. Clear? So this is the structure which we received from our client. Right? So before implementation, we need to design this particular structure in SAP now. Right? Before creation of this structure, we need to create global parameters of an organization. Global parameters of an organization, or you can write it as an means a client has purchased SAP license, then his SAP server will be completely blank. As you know that we have a client 0000001, right, 066, those data will be there, but the remaining client, whatever client is going to design, for example his client number is 100, in that nothing will be there. So now we need to do the basic settings from the client. As soon as you have received the client complete SAP server access and client license access, then as a FI functional consultant, what is the basic configuration? What is the basic steps we need to do? Right? Before creation of this organization structure, first what we need to do is we need to check, okay, general settings of SAP, not organization. General settings of SAP. For example, your client is in India, right? As we know that client is base of India, and he's having what we call company codes in Hyderabad, and as well as in Mumbai, and as well as in US he is having a branch. So those countries are defined or not. First we need to see country, whether countries are defined in the SAP or not, standard SAP. Next we need to see regional settings. Regional settings in the sense, in India we have two regions here. What are those two regions? We have one is in Hyderabad, another one is in Mumbai. So Hyderabad comes under a region called Telangana, and this one, what we call Mumbai, comes under Maharashtra. So these two regions are defined in the standard SAP or not. We need to check. And after checking the regions, next step we need to check the currencies. Means whatever client is going to deal, what is his local currency, what is his group currency, and what are the currencies is going to deal in future, import and exports. Those currencies we need to define. So normally those are already defined by SAP, but we need to check those currencies are defined in SAP or not. If it is not defined, then we need to create those currencies in SAP system. Clear? And after that, we need to create the calendar, standard calendar of organization. So those are the basic structures. First, we need to create, and after that, we will enter into organization structure. Is this clear, everyone? Yes.
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah. Normally, what happens? Normally, people will start with creation of company code. No. In real time, what happens? In real time, as soon as we pitch in into the client place, or if they have a, we are started what we call implementation of SAP, then first step we need to see the global parameters or general settings. So write down general settings or global parameters. General settings or global parameters. Okay, I'll write here. If you want, you can write it here. It's very important. General settings. Okay, what is the first thing we need to do? Okay, what are the we need to do? Country settings. First step, country settings. So as per your client requirement, you need to check country settings. So the client is having two countries. One is in India, another one is in US. So we need to check whether it is defined India and US. Okay. Next, once it is done, then we need to check within these countries. We need to check tax procedure. Okay, tax procedure, right? Okay, tax procedure. Every SAP has designed derived standard tax procedure of each country, right? Every country, their tax procedures are different. For example, when it comes to India, we have GST. When it comes to China, they have a GTS tax, golden tax system. Clear? Like that, every country will have their own tax procedures. Clear? Okay. Right? It's when it comes to US, it is comes under federal tax system. So we need to define whatever country. So we need to define tax procedures. Okay. So the Indian tax procedure SAP defined as an tax in. So we need to check whether SAP has defined tax in or not. Next one for US. These are tax standard actually. Tax US.
But for India, another one is also there, sir. Tax INJ.
Sorry.
For India, tax INJ is also there.
In standard, normally people will define tax in or tax ing, tax ins.
Okay.
But standard, what I'm saying is tax in.
Okay. Okay.
Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Second thing, we need to define date format. What date format we are going to utilize? In India, we are going to utilize dd.mm.yyyy. So when it comes to US, mm/dd/yyyy. Okay. Next one. Third part, most important, is decimal notation. How the values are appear. Our Indians is ones, tens, thousands, lakhs, right? 10 lakhs, right? When it comes to US, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 1 lakh, and after that it starts from million and billion, trillions. Okay. So Indian format, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So there is a common standard format for US and India in SAP. It's a million format only, it will follow. Even though it's in India, we will follow the same decimal format. Okay. So this is. So here regional settings or region settings. Regional settings. Okay. Region settings. Region settings. So whatever education version we are using, whatever education version, whatever server we are using, this is education server, as we discussed earlier also. And this is a very old one. And this is take Andhra Pradesh as a code. Every region will have dedicated code. So it has taken Andhra Pradesh as in 01. which is nothing but undivided Andhra, united Andhra, right? But after this, they came up with, they have divided on these two region codes. Telangana is 36 and Andhra Pradesh is in 37. Maharashtra is 13. Like each state will have one region code. Okay. Okay. 36 for, you can write here 36 for Telangana, and 37. The GSTN numbers will also start with, okay, Andhra. So this will be given by your client itself. And here we have, okay. So we have 13 Maharashtra. 13 Maharashtra. Because we have a plant in Maharashtra. Company code in Maharashtra. And next one, we have US. So we have in region code as in CA, which is nothing but California. Okay. Apart from this, we need to check the currencies. Okay, we need to check the currencies. We need to check the currencies. Currency settings. So what are the currencies we are going to use? Okay, one is for INR and USD. And apart from this, my client is having import and exports. So what are the countries they are going to do? One is in Euro, okay, GBP. Next one, Singapore dollar. So whatever client currencies are there, you can define initially. So here already it will be defined. We need to check. Again, I'm reiterating. We need to check whether it is there or not. CAD currency. Right? And after that, so the most important things, we need to define calendar. So each company calendar would be something different, right? Calendar. So two types of calendar here. Okay. Holiday calendar and factory calendar. Holiday calendar and factory calendar. Holiday calendar and factory calendar. Indian holiday calendar and Indian factory calendar, same time US. Just write it down this.
So bank calendar is also a holiday calendar.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Bank calendar.
Sorry?
Bank calendar. For banks also we have a calendar. So
That's what I'm saying. As per your client, the things will be here. I have mentioned it as a factory calendar. Over there, you will mention it as a, if your client is a bank, then you will create a bank calendar.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
If you are working for a client, you are implementing SAP for bank, then you, instead of factory calendar, you are going to mention it as a bank calendar.
Okay.
Okay.
And this decimal notation and date format, it is specific to company or specific to users?
Sorry,
This decimal notation and date format you are given now.
it's
This is
depends on your country.
like if a user wants comma and another user
Yeah, we
wants
can change it at any point of time.
Okay.
Clear? Only
Okay.
these things we will check initially once we get the licenses of client from SAP AG.
Okay.
So directly we won't start the work like creation of company or whatever organization structure. Before that, as a client, as a consultant, this is our primary responsibility to check this particular things are available in the server or not.
Okay.
Clear? So
Okay.
normally what other consultants will do directly, they will start with the structure. They will start with the structure. But when I'm trying to create my company, then whatever country I'm selecting for my company, it will not pop up. Why? In the sense, for example, whatever country my client belongs, whatever country, which was not updated by SAP, for example. Then what happens whenever I'm creating company, that when I'm selecting a country option, it may not pop up at that particular point of time. Again, we need to go back. We need to create that particular country here. So instead of that, we will directly check first and the next we'll go to the organization structure part. Clear this?
Yes, sir.
So please write it down this. The first structure. Once you're done, let me know. Because whoever has taken the server, kindly check this. Or whoever installed the SAP server.
Hi Naveen, just a quick question.
Yes, please.
Are we going to see the same thing what you are giving in the theoretical part at the same time? If you have the access, if you could show it in the system itself, I'm sure all of us has got the access, but we can still check it, but we do not know. I mean, how do we go to the region setting to check?
No, I'll show you that. I'll show you each and every step. I'll show you
Later on, yeah. Okay.
now. Once if you wrote this complete
Okay.
this particular literature part, immediately we will pitch into that first settings.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
With the what we call with the transaction codes and with the path navigation path, I'll explain this.
Sure. Thank you.
Once you're done, let me know.
I'm done. Maybe the other people are making notes.
Hope
Thanks.
everyone are completed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Done, Naveen.
Okay. Then first, before designing this, write down. First step, change user profile. First step, we need to change the user profile. So once you are entered into the SAP server access, the user profiles look blank. So first we need to give the user profile. Okay, I'll log in from the system. Write down user profile. Change user profile or define user profile. change user profile or define user profile. It's very important in live environment. So why? Because which location we are working. Because uh, because why in the sense, for example, which location we are working, what is the time zone we are working, right? You are working from one place and your server is in another place. The time zone of server would be something different and you are working some other timings. So both will be different. So whenever you generate a report, it will not show your system date, the report generation time. That will show your server time and server date. Clear? So that's the reason whenever you see after checking in the system, if you are working in another time zone and your server is in another time zone, whenever you generate a report, it will show two different times. So that's the reason, first of all, most important is we need to define which zone we are working, from which country we are working, what is the format we are working. That we have to define here. Clear?
Yes, Naveen.
Right? So for example, you are working from Hyderabad, your application is in Singapore, SAP, whatever server, SAP application is in Singapore, and the server is in San Francisco, right? Three different time zones: Singapore time zone, India time zone, and as well as your US time zone. So three different time zones. So that's the reason, first of all, we are supposed to define what is our user profile. What is our user profile? From where we are working, right? Okay. Okay. The thing is, for example, yeah, we are working from Hyderabad and we have posted a transaction. Okay. It will not take our time, Hyderabad time, India time. It will take, because the application is in Singapore. So application, it will take Singapore time zone. Clear? Understood what I'm saying? It will take application time zone. Any questions on this?
Then we can't change it to Indian time zone, sir.
Sorry?
We cannot change it to Indian time zone.
No, we can't. Wherever application is there, by default, it will take. We'll call it as a system time, not your
Okay.
system time. That is the
Server.
SAP application or server time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. That is the only beauty where we can't. For example, I have posted one entry. For example, I'm supposed to post one particular entry yesterday. Okay. But due to some reasons, I forgot. A posting of one entry yesterday's date. So what I did, I got it that I missed that particular entry. So what I did is I have changed the posting date and I'm posting today. But what I did is I have taken posting date manually. I've changed yesterday's date. And I felt that, okay, I have changed it. So the entry got posted according to yesterday's date. But whenever audit takes place, they won't see your posting date or your document date. They are going to check on which date, the system date. What is the system date?
It is also known as creation date.
Exactly. System creation date, that I'll show you. So we can't manipulate that. So in this particular ERP, Tally and in the any other thing, it will not take system date. Whatever date you have given, that it will captures. But when it comes to SAP, right, it will take as per your system date. So you can't bluff anyone that I have posted this thing in with yesterday's time. Clear? So what we need to do, write down how to change the user profile. So go to system menu, write down system menu, select the user profile from system menu, select user profile from system menu. From there, select own data. Select own data. Okay. Select user profile from system menu, and from there select own data. Own data. First, you need to check in your servers the same thing. Okay, here. Okay, so here username, it is showing it as a Naveen. So normally this will be updated by your basis consultant. These two will be updated by basis consultant. Clear? And same time here these things we can edit, not this. Right? Probably you may get as an SAP user, as whatever, but in real time you are going to get your client names here. Your client name in real time. And here you can select, you can give your title, you can give your complete name. Okay. Language. Language. This is very important. We need to select the language. Okay. And whatever department you are working, that is, and other details, whatever details you want to give, you can work. Just write it down. These are the important details which we need to update. So here normally department, whatever, right? Email address, normally in real time it will be available. So here we need to give our organization email or client email address. Because again, if you are working for one organization, then you will have that organization email ID, and same time whatever client, for example, you are working for Infosys, you are an employee of Infosys, but you are working for a client, Apple client. So two email IDs will be generated. One is from your organization, another email ID will be from your client. So here we need to mention client email ID. Client email ID, that is nothing but naveen.srusty@apple.com. Or same thing, I'm working for Chevron, for example. Chevron is also one client, big client. So naveen.srusty@chevron.com, like that. So two email IDs we are going to get. One is general organization email ID, another one is your client email ID. For every consultant, we are going to get that.
This email address field is disabled. Any
Here
specific?
in the practice server, it is disabled, but in real-time environment, it will be available. We can update it.
Yeah. One quick question, Naveen.
Please.
This maintaining of user profile, only the consultant will have the access, I guess.
No. If you are end user, you can also do this.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. See, there will be two types of screens last time, as I told, right? So here, two screens. One is SAP Easy Access screen.
Yeah.
Which means that SAP Easy Access screen is nothing but an end user screen.
End user. Yeah. Okay.
End user screen. In the backend, the development screen will be there.
Okay.
Right? That we call it as an SPRO screen.
Yes.
SAP Project Reference Object screen. I'll tell you.
What if somebody, the consultant is doing it, he will go through SPRO?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So initially we will have an end user screen front. Whenever we will log in into SAP, first it will show SAP Easy Access screen, which means that it will take us to end user screen. So from there we need to go back to consultant screen. That I'll show you. Clear? Okay, so we need to update these things first of all. Okay, the most important tab here is the default tab. So click on defaults tab. So this is very important here. Okay, here what is the language, right? Decimal notations, whatever we fall, right? For example, 1,234,567.89. Okay, whatever as per your client requirement, we need to select TD dot. So whatever decimal format you are going to select here. So all your SAP entries will follow the same thing. Right? Next one, date format, DDMM format. So 24 hours format we are going to follow. Okay. So I'm working from Hyderabad. So output device, just give it as an LP01 print, and time zone from wherever you are working. If you are working from Europe, then you can give it as an Euro, US. And we are working for India, so we are giving Indian time zone. Just write it down.
So tomorrow when I execute the reports, which time zone will it show, sir? This time zone or the server time zone it will show?
I didn't get you. What does it mean?
Like when I execute any reports, we'll be getting by default key date. No, that date will be SAP server date or this SUZ one, this user
After
profile
posting?
date? Yes, sir. Yes, after posting.
See, that's what I said, right? 2 dates it will show. 2 dates it will show. 2 times it will show. One is your application server time and as well as your time. So an auditor will check from, for example, you are posting an entry from Hyderabad and your auditor is in US and your application server is in Singapore, right? He is doing audit from US, your transactions. So if he want to check, so he can't have access to check your user profile. So he will check your posting entries date, right? What is the date and time it is showing and what is your system time? That is nothing but your server time.
Actually, like when we execute FBLN1 report, no, sir, we get one option key date.
Sorry?
When we execute FBLN1 report,
okay,
we by default we get a key date, right?
It will actually
We get
voice is little low, I'm sorry.
Key date. We get
Okay.
the key date. No, that key date is application server time or this server time. I just wanted to know. Like we are
Key date
defining
is nothing but your whatever date you are giving. Clear? Means nothing but whatever time zone you are working, that it will show. Key date.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
in the backend, again, it will take one more date. That is your application server date. Hope you got my point. Key date is nothing but whatever time zone you are working.
Okay.
The time zone date it will display, and same time whenever it is you are checking, then the complete in the backend it will take one more date, that is your SAP application date.
The reason because in my server when I'm practicing, when I execute any today is like 4th, when I execute any report by default it is taking 5th
date.
so
if you are posting tomorrow also it will taking 5th.
It is taking 6th, like it is somewhere in Canada or something server, I guess. Like it is taking the next date. I just
from
want
where you have taken the server access?
From Hyderabad, sir.
Hyderabad only, right? So probably that particular wherever you have taken, he has provider of server, but probably his server is from Bangalore.
Okay.
Clear? The server is from Bangalore and probably the maintenance part he was taking from some other country.
Okay.
Singapore or some other.
Okay.
Who is before our time zone.
Yes, exactly.
Clear?
Exactly.
3-4, there is a variation of, for example, if you take Singapore time, they are almost all 4 hours before to us.
Okay.
So that time zone it will take.
Okay. Now here, if I define India, then it will not take while executing a report, it will still take that Singapore time only, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Clear? So we are supposed to define the complete this one. Just write it down.
This output device is nothing but the printer name, is it?
Exactly. I don't have any printer. That's the reason. Standard, whatever. Normally people will take LP01. We have taken it as an LP01 because we need to do some future batch runs. Right? So that's the reason I have given it as an LP01. In real time, you will have whatever real time printers are there, that we will give. Once you're done, let me know. So once you are done, click on save button. So Okay, this is nothing but user level settings. And as I said that this particular screen is completely end user screen, right? Day-to-day transaction, whoever does, these known as an end user. But we are consultants. We need to do configuration. Right on. How to go to, I think I have provided a note for that. Right. As a consultant, right on, as a consultant, we will design SAP system according to client business process. Client business process. Full stop. The design we will do in configuration and customization environment. Configuration and customization environment. Next line right up. How to switch to configuration environment screen. How to switch configuration environment screen from easy access screen or end users screen. So how we can write down the path? SAP menu, write down the path. So every time for each and every configuration, we are going to discuss this particular path each and every time, right? Most of the navigation, whatever, right, path, we need to remember if possible. If possible, we need to remember, and that is possible with only practice only. Clear? If you don't remember the transaction code, it's fine. But here path is very important to remember. All, no, not required, but whatever possibility navigation path you can remember, that would be more and more useful for us. And that is possible only with your practice only. So write down SAP menu, tools, customizing, IMG, and execute project, and transaction code is SPRO. Transaction code is SPRO. Transaction code is SPRO. We call it as a T code or transaction code. So here we need to go to tools. Okay. Okay. So here, whatever abbreviation I have given, SAP, SPRO stands for SAP Project Reference Object. This is not authorized abbreviation, but if you check it on Google, it will show it as the same SAP Project Reference Object, but it is not authorized by any SAP AG. Clear? So here, path, tools, next select customizing, IMG, write down within the bracket. IMG is nothing but implementation guide. Whatever IMG we are calling here, it is nothing but implementation guide. Okay, IMG. Okay, execute project, execute project, right? So here what I'll do, okay, write down SPRO, write down the abbreviate whatever code, SPRO, SAP project, SAP project reference object, SAP project reference object. Okay, so double click on IMG. Okay, double click on SPRO. Here I'll show you extra technical details. So you can see here transaction code SPRO. Okay. Okay. So write down, double click on execute. So here you can see SAP reference IMG. What is IMG here? Implementation guide. Implementation guide. Okay. So here double click on SAP reference IMG.
What are the below blank ones, project and name?
Sorry.
What are the below ones those are blank under the column project and name?
Once we do the transport request, so normally whatever project we are working, that it will display.
Oh.
As of now, we are not working anything. So that's the reason it was blank. So here we need to create here. So as of now, the first time it will show it, not only the first time, every time it will show it as a blank is nothing but you are going to implement one thing. It always shows as a blank. Clear? Which means that whatever implementation you are doing, as of now, the server is blank, it will show, which indicates that. So whatever project and what is the name of the project. So normally it is not editable mode. Now the basis consultant will do at the end what kind of project the server is, whether you are doing an implementation project, whether you are in support project, or you are in rollout project or testing project. So at the end, what we call the basis consultant will update this. Clear? Yes, no?
Yes, Naveen.
Yeah. So double click on this. So here for all the modules, the configuration settings will be available here. Okay. So here, see here, financial accounting new. As I said that we have two accountings, financial accounting. One is classic, another one is latest. So we have financial accounting old and financial accounting new and controlling module. Clear? So whatever modules we have, the complete modules, it will be shown here. For example, sales and distribution, SD module, right? Real estate module, material management module, all the modules, it will display here.
Which one should be using for the financial accounting? The new, the old, the classic, the old one, or the new one?
No, we are going to work on new one.
New. Okay.
Financial accounting new. Clear? I'll explain what is the difference between the old one and the new one once we start the project. Clear? Any questions here?
No, it's fine. Thanks.
Okay. Every module configuration we will do in this particular environment only. Okay. Okay. And end user will not have access to this particular environment. They will have only easy access environment access, not this particular access. Okay. This is one way we can come to this particular screen, or write down one more way. We can come to this particular screen, write down or. Okay. So instead of this, like every time navigation, we can come. Okay. Instead of coming this one. So here we can type it as in here. In the command field, write down type SPRO in the command field. Instead of coming tools and everything, just type SPRO in the command field. So directly it will take to your SAP reference IMG. So click on SAP reference IMG. Click on SAP reference IMG. So the same environment, the same screen. So two ways we can go everything. Majority 99% things we can either go with the path or even we can go with the transaction codes. But when it comes to new environment, as I said, 99% we can come either with, we can come to this particular environment either with transaction code or navigation path. But few configurations, once it introduced a new GL concept, we don't have navigation path. Directly we can use transaction codes for few configurations, and for few configuration we don't have transaction codes at all. We need to remember the path. That is 1%, I'm telling you. Understood? 99% we have two ways to go to the configuration. One is navigation and or we can go with the transaction codes. But 1%, we don't have a navigation, but we have a transaction codes. And for few transaction codes, we have a navigation, but we don't have a transaction codes.
That 1% is from the controlling module, or
no, we have in FI also. I'll give you, whenever I'll dictate the path, then I'll clearly mention that we don't have a transaction code. And whenever I'll take it as a transaction code, for example, FM area, we are going to create FM areas, right? So in FM area, there is a old version of navigation it has given, okay, which is not going to work. We need to give only the transaction code, then only we can create. That I'll show you. Hope you got my point.
Yes, Naveen.
Right down. So this is your customization screen or configuration screen. Okay. So here, number of activities we have. Okay. For example, financial accounting new. One second, I'll show you. See here, this is folder. This is folder. For example, number of activities we have. Enterprise structure, for example, if you click here, a folder, and you can see here paper and okay, one clock button and one documentation, right? The paper button and the clock button. Okay, so for example, whenever, so two options here. One is this one, IMG activity documentation. We call it as an IMG activity documentation, means this particular step, SAP already provided the notes for this. What is localized simple organization? The complete theory, literature will be provided standard. That is the reason I said that implementation guide, right? It will give you the complete literature, whatever you want. If you have a time, we can check it. Right? The same thing, if you can see here. See here, definition, financial accounting, define company. So here, if you want, define company, what is company, right? What is complete things will be given, help documentation, I can say, right? Any structure you will find this. Complete SAP end-to-end implementation, it has provided help documentation. Okay. So not only here, wherever you go, you will get, okay, if you press F1, then everywhere you will get help documentation. Everywhere, whatever screen it is. Clear? Whatever you are doing some configuration and you don't have idea about it, if you press F1, normal, what we call a Windows help button F1, everything, the documentation will be given. So here it is showing, I said company name, I have pressed F1. So here it is company name. For example, I pressed F1 from my keyboard. So it will show company name. Name of a company can be defined by user. Clear? So whatever may be the screen, wherever we are, if we press F1, it will open a help documentation and it will give you the complete literature on that particular thing. If I am here and if I press F1, same thing, company ID, unique company ID of a company with your corporate group, right? Same thing. Okay. Right, not only here, in internet also, if you want a standard SAP documentation, if you type, then the complete library is available in internet also. So SAP, one more thing I can tell you, that SAP is a self-learning system. If we have a patience, then no need of any trainings and all. So everything we will get, point to point information we will get. So not only in SAP server environment or installation environment, even though we can get from internet also the complete library, SAP documentation library. Clear? Whenever we have a time on one particular thing, whenever you didn't understood with any literature from our class, then you can go and you can check and we can prepare our own notes. And at initial level, I used to do in the same way. Okay. So next is, this is nothing but IMG activity button. This is called, this is notes, and this is called activity. Is nothing but action. If we click, okay, right, for every IMG activity, this is called IMG activity. This is called IMG activity documentation. Two things, right? As I said, that help documentation we call in SAP terminology as an IMG activity documentation, which we can get help, and this is called IMG activity. IMG activity. So for almost all 99% IMG activity, SAP has provided transaction codes, right? In the same way, like IMG activity, we have transaction codes. Write down how to activate, write down how to activate this next step, how to activate T codes for IMG active. Okay, write down how to activate T codes for IMG activity. So here we can see we don't have any transaction codes here, right? So if we want to activate transaction codes here, we want to view to define company, what is the transaction code. Every time I don't want to go with the path, right? Sometimes I want to go with the transaction codes. As I said, that every activity we can have two things. One, we can go with the navigation, and the other one we can go with the transaction codes. So, but here I'm not able to see any transaction codes here. So how to activate them? How to view them? So write down how to activate T codes from IMG activity. So write down the path, SPRO, okay, additional information. So we are already there in SPRO screen. Okay, so additional information. Next, display key, and select IMG activity. Select IMG activity. As you know that IMG stands for implementation guide activity, or right. So here you can see here. Okay. So here this is a menu. Okay. Additional information. And from additional information menu, select again additional information, select additional information. Next from there, from additional information menu, select display key, select display key and select IMG activity. Select IMG activity. Select IMG activity. IMG, you can see here. We will find additional information. Okay. So last 4 digits. OX15 is a transaction code to define company. So define credit control area, OB45, OX02. Last 4 to 5 digits, mostly 4 digits. Most of the times, most of the 4-digit code. Clear? So it's not a permanent. What we have activated for this particular session. Okay, once you come out and if you again, if you are entering into SPRO, we won't find this. Again, we need to follow the same procedure to view your transaction codes. Got my point? This is not permanent. So we have activated your transaction codes. Once we go back from SPRO screen to end user screen, and again we come into the configuration screen, then again it will be, we can't see them. So again, we need to follow the same procedure. Clear? So IMG T codes need to be fine. Any questions here? Any questions here?
No, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So for every module, whatever module, we are going to see 5 different steps. For any module, we are going to see. Okay. Remember this. Right. So here, first step, we are going to do business process discussion. In real time, we are going to do business process discussion. Okay, right. Business process discussion. Once business process discussion is done, we have already completed the organization structure. Next thing is configuration. Configuration, which we are going to start. Next, master data. Okay. Okay. So whatever configurations we have done, whether it's working or not, right, end to end, then we need to create master data and we need to do transaction data. This is nothing but testing. Transaction data, and we are going to generate reports. Okay. Okay. So these are the mandatory, any module, it could be a FICO module or MM or anything. So first we will do business process discussion. It's completely a literature part. Okay. Configuration. Configuration we are going to do in SPRO. Okay. And master data we are going to do in SAP screen, end user screen, that we call it as an SAP menu. Transaction data is also in SAP menu. That is nothing but your end user screen, and reports also in end user screen. Understood? So these are the things we will do in each and every module. If you are FI consultant or a CO consultant or MM consultant or HR consultant, we are going to discuss this first business process discussion with all the consultants, right? What we did, organization structure, what are the credit control areas, business areas, company codes, and everything we will discuss and we will design. And once we are done with that, okay, then we will start up with the configuration part. The configuration part we are going to do in SPRO environment. Okay, and after that, we are going to create. So we have done all the configuration settings, right? So we need to check whether end-to-end configuration, is it perfect or not. So for that, we need to do to test that, we need to create master data. We will create the master data, and whatever master data we have created, right, that is in end user screen. Whatever master, GL master data, vendor master data, customer master data, asset master data, tax master data, bank master data, whatever master data are there, that we are going to create. And after that, we are going to do transactional data. Transactional data is nothing but your postings, right? What you're posting, whatever GL postings, right? AP postings, AR posting, asset postings, bank postings, right? All the postings we will do. Almost all hundreds of postings we are going to see each and every module, sub module in FI and CO as well. We are going to see. So once the transactions are posted, so number of reports, what are the possible standard reports we can view, those reports, and what are the possible customized reports we can view, those reports we are going to see. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
So just write down these steps. So as a consultant, this is our job. If we are in implementation project, if we are in implementation project. So write down these steps. Okay. Once you're done, let me know.
Done, sir.
Okay, right. Next step. So as I said that we need to define our countries. Right, general settings. So first of all, we need to define countries in SAP system. First step. Define countries in SAP system. Write down the path. Define countries in my SAP systems. Write down the path. SPRO. Okay. SPRO. Okay. Now you know what is SPRO. One second. I'm just updating. Okay. Write down SPRO. SAP NetWeaver. SAP NetWeaver. Okay. General settings. SAP NetWeaver. General settings. General settings. General settings. Set currencies. Set currencies. Define countries in my SAP systems. Okay, transaction code OY01. Transaction code OY01. Okay, so I'm showing here. So again, I'll come back /n SPRO SAP reference IMG. Here you can find SAP NetWeaver. This is a folder, and we have a subfolder. So in the general settings, okay, in that we are going to select countries. So again, we have a subfolder, set countries. Next, define countries in my SAP system. So here, if I want to view the transaction code, so same thing, additional information, right? Additional information, display key, IMG activity. So you can see here. As I said, 4 to 5 last. So OY01N. OY01N. Okay. Define countries in my SAP system. Okay. OY01. So click on OY01N. Okay. Define countries in my SAP system. So here, if you want to check whether the particular country is there or not. So we have company codes in 2 countries. One is in India, another one is in US. Correct? So here we need to check what is your client country first of all. So here, if it is already defined, then you can click on new position button. If it is not there, then you need to define it as a new entries. If the countries are not defined, so total SAP has defined total 248 countries. So maximum countries it has defined, right? So you need not to create any country as per SAP standard, because all 248 countries are defined in SAP system. If any new country is going to take place, then we need to define as a new entries. Your client country is not visible in the list, SAP standard list, then we can create it as a new country. So click on position button, and country. It will take 2 characters of country. So here our country is India. So click on IN, click on position button and give country as an IN. Select continue button, click on OK, press enter. Okay, here select India IN. So majority people have created INA, IND like that, not required. We can follow SAP standard provided. Okay, so yeah, normally 248, normally 237 countries are there, 237, right? So here it is showing 248, means that additionally few wants to test SAP system by creating their countries, new countries. Same you can see here, INA, it is showing it is user defined country.
It
Not
is under alphabetical order, right, Naveen?
Sorry?
It's in alphabetical
Yes.
order, yeah?
Yes.
Can you go to U? I do not see the UK.
Sorry?
Can you go to the U? Alphabetical order, yeah.
No, you can just drop down or you can click on position button.
I did try. Can you try? UK. Doesn't show image. Yeah. See.
UK is shown as Great Britain, I guess.
Correct.
GB, yeah?
GB.
Yeah.
GB.
Yeah. I was just wondering. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, no. Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Naveen.
Go ahead.
So here, click on IN. Now I want to check. So total 237. Click on IN. And if I want to, so select the country, IN. Okay. So if I want to check the settings, then here click on, this is details button. So right, check it, select IN and click on details button. So whatever standard SAP has defined, that we can check. Okay, click on Okay, select details button. So this is SAP standard provided. These are right on. We need right. So here normally this we have already defined from my old batches. So that's a normally new environment. The hard currency will be shown as a blank in real environment. The hard currency will be shown as a blank. Okay. So here one this particular setting we need to change. So normally group currency we want to group reporting we want to see in USD. So write down select hard currency, assign hard currency as an USD, assign hard currency as an USD, assign hard currency as USD. In procedure column, next one more configuration. In procedure column, press F4, select F4. Okay. And we need to select, you can select tax IN or tax INN. Both are created by SAP standard. So here, so we can select here. See here, tax IN or INN. This is new procedure. There are two standard. One is tax IN, tax INN. So this is nothing but your new tax procedure. So here you can select here tax INN in procedure. So date format, which format we want to follow. So here different formats are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are very important. These formats.
We
DD,
have already
MM,
given
YY.
in, we have already defined in the user profile also.
Sorry, that
We
is
have all,
that is for, see here, this is for client. User profile is for our reference purpose, where
okay.
in which country zone we are working.
Okay.
Clear. But here which we are doing a configuration for one particular country. Now we are going to do for US.
Okay.
Because our companies are in, company codes are in, one is in India and another one is in US, correct? So here we are going to define for company or company
Okay.
codes.
Okay.
Okay, user profile, that where we are working. So we are going to define that.
Okay. 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 That is
Fine.
okay. Got it.
And here decimal format. Okay. So these are the three important things. One is hard currency. So we need to check the procedure, date format and decimal format. Okay. So here, what is the changes we have done in the configuration settings? We have done earlier. It was there's something different, PSP or something else.
Yes,
so we have changed it to tax INN, new tax procedure, right? So here, whatever changes we have done, we need to save them. So as I said that in general, in Windows, whatever savings we will do on documentation, we will save in a folder. But in SAP, we call that folder as a transport request. So we will have one complete session on transport request. So what in general, you just remember what do you mean by transport request? Whatever changes, whatever configuration steps we have done, that has to be saved. Clear? And where we will save in Windows, we will save in a folder, but here we will call it as a transport request. There will be some general, one number will be get generated. Every configuration steps, whatever configuration steps we are going to do, that will be saved in that particular request only. So why we need to save in one particular request only, in the sense, for example, in real time, what happens is we will do all the configurations we will do in development server, right? And that configuration has to move from development server to quality server. right? If I am changing, I am saving each configurations configurations in different transport requests. So if I want to move from one server to another server, then it will be a great challenge. So to overcome that difficulty, what we will do is in real time, we will try to save all the configuration steps. Whatever we will change, everything we will try to save in one particular transport request, end to end. And that transport request, we will give it to our basis consultant. So within the request, you remember or not, within the server, moving uh, data from configurations from one client to another client, we will do that as a consultant. But if we want to move the data or configurations from one server to another server as a functional consultant, we won't do that. Who will do that? Basis consultant will do that, technical consultant, right? We will give the transport request to them. So that transport request, they will move because the data will be huge. So that transport request will be moved from development server to quality server to production server. Clear? If we are saving, we will do thousands of changes, thousands of configurations. So if we will do thousands of transport requests, if we miss one transport request to move from one server to another server, then everything will be collapsed. The things will not work as expected. Clear?
So whenever you are making any change, you will have the updation on the transport request. You
correct. It will ask where you want to save. Okay. Right? So it will, whatever transport request we are going to create, so it will give the list, whatever there in the system. So we need to select the transport request.
So the transport request will have the complete implementation team will have the access if they
correct.
are doing any change.
All the consultants will have that.
Okay.
Okay. So if you see, as I said that I have changed the tax INN. So immediately when I try to save whatever thing we have changed, then it will ask, if I click on save button, it will ask for transport request. See here. So it is showing some. Okay, here it is already showing some ultra tech. So which is nothing but it's a training server, right? It's already somebody has created this particular. This is the request number and this is a description they have given. But we don't want to save. Our company structure is something different. So we don't want to save in this particular transport request. Clear? Right? So here we need to click on. Sorry?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So here we need to click on create request. Click on create a request. Click on create request button. Click on create request button. So here we need to give the description. We need to give the description and write down create, click on transport request, new request. Okay. So I'll write here which module we are doing the configuration. I'll write it as an FICO module underscore CD. So here client CD means client dependent. Two things, client dependent and client independent settings. Okay. Okay, client dependent. What do you mean by client dependent setting? In the sense, if I am doing settings, if I'm
where
doing
there
some
is
changes,
no company code field.
Sorry,
Where there is no company code field, that is client level. Right?
I didn't get you.
Where we don't find company code field, that is client level setting.
No, whatever settings we are going to do, that is applicable for only that particular client. For example, in real time, we will have number of clients. You know that here, which client we are working in a training environment, we are working on 800 client. Correct? Client 800, not company, client 800. But in real time, your client may have number of clients, right? Client 100, client 200, client 300, client 400, something like that. So for example, two things. client dependent settings, client independent settings, right? So here, whatever changes we are going to do, that is restricted only to that particular client. If you are working under client 100, your company you are created under client 100, right? Then what does it mean? That particular settings, that particular configuration is restricted only to that particular client only. That is nothing but now we are working on client 800, right? So this particular whatever configurations I'm going to do, that is applicable for all clients. Sorry, only that particular client only. So, okay, only one client, client 100, for example. And what do you mean by client independent in the sense? What is a client independent in the sense? Whatever configuration I'm doing, whatever FI settings in one client and MM configuration another client, right? But here, whatever configuration I am doing, that should be applicable for not only client 100, that should be applicable for all the clients, whatever there in the system, in the server, whatever clients are there, that should be applicable for all the clients. Then we will call it as a client independent. I'll show you what are the client dependent settings, right? And client independent settings. So for example,
basically client dependent is the specific client specific settings.
Correct.
And independent is applicable to all other clients.
No, that will not applicable to all other clients. That is applicable to only here, whatever client you are able to see, source client, 800 client, that is applicable only for this particular client.
That is dependent, client dependent.
Correct. Independent in the sense that is applicable for all the clients what are exist in the server.
Oh, that's okay.
Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
I'll show you. Every time I'll show you what is a client dependent settings and what are the independent settings. Fine. Any questions, anyone? Any questions?
No, Naveen.
Because you need, we will understand in future also, but I'm giving you a glimpse what is a dependent client and independent client. Okay. Just write it down. So here, what is my client dependent underscore? So here we can give our own description from here. So I'll write it as in my company code as Lahari group company configuration settings. So here, see, probably any company will follow the same procedure, the first two, FICO module, and whether it is a client dependent or a client independent, right? And here it will be get changed from company to company. So whatever way you want, your client says that, okay, this transport request, I want to maintain like this. So this naming convention will given by your project lead or project owner. Clear? Whatever transport request name you want to maintain, so your naming convention will be given. Most of the naming conventions will discuss with your client by your project lead, and that project lead or project owner will give the naming conventions for everything in a documentation. Clear, everyone?
Yes, Naveen.
Yes, no? Okay. So just write it down. Remember this. And automatically, once we click on this, the transport request number automatically generates by the system. We need not to give the number. We need to give only the description part. And automatically, it will create one number in the backend. So here you can see here your owner. What is the status? It's a new request number, time changed, and source client. So click on save. You can see here the request number. Write down this. What is our request number here? EH7K 903556. So hereafter, whatever settings we are going to do, we are going to save in this particular request number only. That is EH7K 9035556. Okay, everyone. Any questions on this?
No, sir.
So click on continue button.
Naveen, are we using the same server? Because I think one user at a time, it shows it is being locked. If
See,
I
what
try
I'll advise is if we are using the same server, don't create a company with the same names. Clear? The transport request, you can't do the same. Clear? But what my advice is, take some other, instead of Lahari, you can take another server, another name of your company. The structure, you can change only the name part. The remaining structure will be the same.
Okay.
Right? Or else it will show it will show a little problem in future if you are using the same server, everyone. Okay. Click on OK button. That's it. Here you can see here data was saved. So with this particular configuration, the data will be saved. So India setting is done now. So here press back button. Now we will see US. Press back button. Okay. Deselect IN. Deselect IN. Next click on position button and give country US. Select US. US. So here select US and press details button. Press details button. Same thing whatever we did for IN. For each and every country we can do this. So here hard currency USD. Hard currency USD. So group currency USD. Assign tax procedure tax US. It's already there. Tax US. And date format you can see here MMDDYY. MMDDYY. Okay. MM/DD/YYY. Okay. Next. Decimal format. Decimal format. 1,234,567.89. So you can check with your client in real time. You can follow the same procedure. You can follow the same procedure. Okay. So here we have not changed anything. We followed as the same, right? If we select click on save button, it will not ask for transport request. That's it. Only date orders. Okay. This is about your country settings. So any country you can check and you can define. Right. Next one. Next step, write down region settings. Next, write down region settings. I'll provide this notes. I'll share this. Next one, second step, insert regions. Insert.
When are you going to share this document?
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Insert regions. Path same as above. Path same as above. Okay. Insert regions. Transaction code OVK2. OVK2. So whenever it is the same navigation path, then I'll say just it as a path same as above. So you can see that. back button. See here, insert region, same general settings, set countries. Under that you can find insert regions. So OVK2, OVK2. So click on execute button. Okay. So what are the regions we have? One is Telangana, one is Telangana, Andhra, Maharashtra. Okay.
California.
So here, click on position button. Click on position button. So if you want to check country IN, you can check. Okay. So as I said that, first one 01 will be Andhra Pradesh. That is nothing but, so people have created whatever they want. So you can see here 36 and 37. So if you won't find in your server, this is a standard region number, region code for Telangana and standard region code for Andhra Pradesh. So these are, for example, if in your server, it is not found. Okay, then what you can do is you can click on new entries. So you can give country IN. Okay, whatever region yours is, for example, 36 region code, and you can give it as a Telangana. And you need to click on save button. If you won't found in your server the Telangana region. Okay, in the same way, Andhra IN. Okay, 37, which is standard. Again, I'm telling you, which is standard, which is defined. That is nothing but Andhra Pradesh. Like this, we can create. Okay, so already it is saved in my server. So that's the reason it's not accepting. You want to change the slot? Yes. Go back. So you can see here. So click on position button, country IN, and now you can check here. So 13, Maharashtra. Is it there, 13? IN 13. See here, somebody has 12, 13. Somebody has deleted Maharashtra. So what we need to do, 13 is the standard code, region code for Maharashtra. Click on new entries, right? Country IN. 13 is Maharashtra code, and we can type here as an Maharashtra.
How do you know it's 13, Naveen? It was
Because
there
GSTN
earlier.
numbers we have, right?
Sequence. Okay.
Yeah, GST, according to GSTN number, each region will recognized with a GSTN starting numbers.
Okay.
That's the reason I just remember 13 is a standard Maharashtra, 36, 37 like that. Okay. So 7. So because we have done the changes, so that's the reason it is asking. So I want to save in the same transport request number. So click on OK. Now you can see here, go back. Okay, click on position button, country IN, right? So here 13, Maharashtra, right? So these are the standards only. Whatever SAP has designed, these are the standard only. Like 02 Arunachal Pradesh and 01 was Andhra Pradesh. Somebody has deleted again. Because it's a practice server, so people will do whatever they want. That's the only problem with the practice server. So here you can have 21 Sikkim 22. So that's the reason I have already defined you here. You can see here.
Sir, I have a small doubt.
Please,
Like
sir.
we have union territories, Daman and Dayu and Dagra Nagari Haveli. Later they have both been merged. So at that time we should come here and create a new region, or SAP
Correct.
will release a patch.
No, see, unless until SAP won't release the patch, before that we can create as like this.
Okay.
Hope you got my point.
Yeah, got it.
If you want to wait for that particular patch to be released, then we will miss out few configuration, and there would be a time, because almost all it will take a 1 year time to give the patch.
Oh,
That's the reason. So we will take a confirmation, because as soon as it is merged, then we will get the confirmation and regional code and everything,
oh.
right?
Yes,
By the
yes.
government of whatever India or
Yeah,
whatever country,
government of it.
right? So according to that, we need to define here.
Okay.
And in future, automatically SAP will patch the same thing.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? So
No,
we have done the region part, region settings. Okay, so we have defined, we have saw the next one, California. Do we have or not? So for that, click on position. We have one company code in US. So select US. So whether California is there or not, see here. The region California, see it is there. So no need to define. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Next, currency settings. Next one, third step, currency settings. Currency settings. Write down the path. SPRO, SAP NetWeaver, general settings. So till here, it is the same. Till general settings, the path is the same, right? Currencies, check currency codes. Transaction code OY03. So first we need to check what is company code currency, group currency, that is nothing but hard currency. Is it available in the system or not? And what are the client is going to handle in future, imports and exports, generally, as per his past experience, right? So those currencies, we need to check whether it is there or not. However, it will be there in the system, but as a consultant, it's our prime responsibility to check those currencies are available in the system or not. Clear? So transaction code OY03. So click on save button, go back. So here set countries, we need to come back. So here currencies, check currency codes, transaction code OY03. So click on IMG activity. So somebody has logged the data. So I'll tell you, if someone has logged this particular data, so some user ID. So before that only, when see, this will happen most of the time in practice environment. This particular issue will be there, means we both are working on same environment.
that's me, Naveen. I'll come back here.
Okay, no problem. I'll show you how to come back. Okay, so here, and one more problem, sometimes you face some issues. For example, you are working on one purchase order. If someone is there in end user, and other person is also, someone is updating in purchase order, and you are working as an end user, you are working as in the same purchase order, right? At that particular time, it will show it as unlocked, right? So at that particular point of time, so I have provided notes. I'll show you. Write down. So next step, I'm about to show that, but now only I'll show you. So unlock, you be there in the same screen, no problem. You'll be there, you should be there in the same screen. So write down, unlock the locked screen. logged screen, transaction code SM12. Transaction code SM12, very important, because we are going to see as I am practicing in the same server and you are also practicing in the same server. So most of the time I am creating a company code or I am creating a company, then both are working in the same transaction, then the screen will lock. So at that particular point of time, we need to do this particular transaction, SM12. So I'll show you. So here, or you can go to the new screen. Right here, you can type SM12, enter. Okay, I have given the complete literature here. Table name, it should be blank and press enter button. So here, table name, it is asking for table name. So we don't know which table it has got locked. So press enter. Press enter. Okay, client, what I'll do is, what is your user ID? If somebody it was showing, it's a logged screen.
That's
I'll tell you.
It's 1303018.
So we need to mention the user ID, whatever user ID. Control C. Okay. Here lock argument. So we need to give that ID name. Every time, whenever it is locked, it will not show only the locked. It will give you the ID who has also working in this. So we need
under the same client.
Correct. So if it is under the same client or same server, then only it will show it as a lock. Okay, and press enter. Okay, no lock entries found. Right. So refresh. Right. Normally, if it is any lock entries are there, we need to select them. Click on select button, and here we will have delete option. So click on delete option.
Yes, screen.
Yes.
I'm still using that screen, so it should show my.
Let me check. Or what you can do is, okay. See here.
Yeah.
I'll reiterate once again. See. So here username, who has logged. Over there, we need to give user ID and press enter. And here select it. Select it. So what is the table name and everything. I'll explain what are the different tables are there in SAP. Okay. Then what is the lock argument? Lock argument is currency settings. Right. Right. Then next we can click it as delete button. So delete lock entry, click on yes. Okay, whatever it is, just ignore this message. That's it. Now you go back and click on that's it. Even though he has opened, then we can work on this.
His configuration will be deleted, no, sir. Whatever
Sorry?
he has done, that
Sorry?
whatever configuration he has done, that will be deleted, right?
That will be there as it is, not an issue. Only that screen we both can access.
Okay.
Same time. The configurations will not get changed.
Okay.
Clear?
So both can work on at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay.
So here,
now
what are the currencies we have? So we can check. One is INR. So click on position button.
Naveen,
Yes, sir.
Naveen, we are checking the currency codes, not defining the currency types.
We are not defining. If it is not there, then we can define it.
Okay.
Right? If currencies are not available, then we can define new currencies, like we have a new entries.
Bitcoin and all we can define.
Yeah. Right? If whatever currency, the client currency is not available in the list, then we can create it. Fine. So click on position button. INR. So click INR. So here you can select it as a primary currency, or you can ignore it also, it's fine. Means my company currency is INR. So check INR, Indian rupee, INR. So next one, what is the other currencies we have? USD. We are working on USD. So click on position button. USD is also my group currency. Again, same primary currency. Okay. So next one, whatever currencies you want, you can check here whether it is available or not. CAD, Canadian dollar. If it is your prime currency as your company, you want to generate a reports on your Canadian dollar, then you can select this. And we have a topic on S4 HANA and ECC, like how many currencies we can define as a primary currency. So now if I explain, then that would be a little confusion. So what I'll do is once we start up comparison starts with ECC versus S4 HANA, at that particular point of time, how many currencies we can define in ECC version and how many currencies we can define in S4 HANA version. And I'll define and I'll show you that. Okay, so here I'm just checking what are the currencies the client is using, whether it is available or not in the SAP standard.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Please, sir.
Sir, companies like Tesla and all, they maintain cryptocurrency. They accept amount in cryptocurrencies. So here only we should come and create, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
All the cryptocurrencies we can create here.
Okay.
Okay. Because at the time of taking the business process of client, definitely will inform us what kind of currencies is going to be.
Okay.
Right. So if it is not available, then as it is cryptocurrencies or whatever he explains, the same thing we need to create it.
Okay.
Okay. So GBP. So GBP British pound. Clear, everyone? Any questions? So whatever concept, normally all the currencies are defined by SAP standard. If at all any new currency, okay, come into the picture, then we need to create it. So this is about your currency settings.
But majority of the time on your project, the currencies must be there. I mean, should be there in the SAP itself, right?
Correct. It will be there. However, it will be there by the standard SAP. As I mentioned just now, cryptocurrencies, right? Client is using and which is not defined in SAP, right? That we can define by taking the information from the client. We can define in the same way.
All right. Okay.
As a new entries.
Okay.
So what we will do is calendar part we will see in tomorrow's session. Till here, any questions? Again, I'm telling you, like normally what we will do as we'll start from company creation, company code creation. No, as soon as we reach the client place or we got the access of client license, then first basic configuration, this is considered as a general settings or global parameters. So these are the things we need to check. If these are not defined, your group currency, hard currency is not defined, then at the time of report generation, right, the new GL concept, again I'll explain at the end, in the middle, right, that particular point of time, whenever we want to generate reporting, then at that particular point of time we will face the issues. Clear?
So before creating any company codes, any other, so first thing is to check all these settings
Correct,
are in
correct, exactly. General settings. See here, already we are working on a training environment. So one or the other person already defined this. Correct, tax INN or something else. But in what we call fresh implementation, few things will not be updated, like what is your tax procedure, what is your group currency, all those stuff, right? All the countries and everything will be currencies and everything will be provided by standard SAP only. But in that, we need to map according to the client requirement. Clear? So that's the reason we need to do this particular configuration steps. These settings we need to do it. Any questions till here?
So this is basis activity or FICO activities?
Sorry?
This will be done by basis team or
No. As a FICO consultant, we need to do it.
Okay.
Not only FICO, if MM consultant has doing the first activity, see, organization structure normally created by FI consultant only, not MM person or any other consultant. So this activity, we need to do it, not a basis consultant.
Okay.
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 Thank you all.
Thank
I'll
you,
share
Naveen.
this
Thank you, sir.
record. Yes, please.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you.
Thank you. I'll share this recording. Okay. If at all any questions, please go through once. I'll share this documentation also. Okay.
Okay.
And just check if you have any questions, please, before we start tomorrow's session, just ask me in the session.
Fine. Fine.
All right, will do. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.